When I hit my 40s, I thought, let me try and accelerate my wealth. I was very much aware of what my finances were at that point, and therefore, wealth acceleration became the goal. I started investing and managing my money better, but the key thing here is that I wanted to accelerate my wealth. So I was doing my research and I stumbled upon Baillie Gifford American. And Baillie Gifford American, which is a managed fund, was a fund that was managed by Baillie Gifford. I found it on Hargreaves Lansdown platform and it had fantastic returns. Most of the investments were obviously centered in America, the USA, and Canada. So I looked at the past performance, and that past performance gave me wings, literally, because the fund seeks to outperform the S&P 500, and it seemed to be doing so. So I decided to go all in and to put a lot of money into Baillie Gifford America. If you look at the chart I'm sharing, you can see particularly in 2020, the fund returned 121.8% compared to the S&P 500, which returned 14.7. So looking at that performance, there was no way I was going to miss out. But this is the danger of using past performance as an indicator of future performance. So I went all in, and quite quickly I started to make some money. And then, of course, with time, you can see by 2021, whilst the S&P 500 was recovering, giving returns of almost 30%, Baillie Gifford America started struggling, giving negative returns of -2%. And in 2022, even as low as I lost half my money, -50%. And 2023, people who had invested, obviously in 2022 had fantastic returns, giving them returns of 40% and 30%. But unfortunately, in 2025, the return has been 1.5%. So this has not even been close to what the index has provided. And it was on the Hargreaves shortlist as wealth shortlist as well. So I thought, okay, let's hold on to it. I needed to exercise a lot of discipline because I didn't want to sell my investments. So just basically looking at what Baillie Gifford does, it is highly invested in tech. Um, most of, as I said, most of the companies are US based. It is invested in Amazon, Meta, Nvidia, Netflix, Cloudflare, Shopify, etc. So the distribution of its investments are that 32% are in software and computer services, 10%, around 10% in pharmaceuticals and biotechnology, and about 10% in retailers. Obviously, the managers will be changing their investment strategy, but this is what you need to be aware of when you decide to invest in managed funds. So, over the last 4 years, I have seen a highly volatile um, investment return. I have tried to literally stay the course, but when it goes up, I have tried to sell some of it, and I have sold a lot of my portfolio at a time when I can at least negate the losses. The main thing is that if you are looking at your investments when they are negative, the main thing is not to lock in the losses by selling at a huge loss. But I have to say, given what I've seen, I have lost some money, because I might be happy to lose -2%, -3%, because I know I can make it back if I invested in an index fund. The other thing to note is that managed funds do have higher charges, so I am still having to pay 0.5% of my portfolio to Baillie Gifford, and then Hargreaves Lansdown has a platform fee, although they have reduced it slightly given the negative returns. But when you look at, a bloodbath like this, it's very tempting. So you can see where, when the fund has improved slightly, when it goes towards the zero mark, that's when I try and least to get my money back. So, but periodically, being an optimist, you kind of think, let me hold on. And unfortunately, if you hold on too long to a stock that's not doing well, you end up becoming more negative and you get stuck. So I could have made a lot of money if I hadn't invested in Baillie Gifford American. It's not been the best investment for me thus far, but it is important to know that the reality of investing. So I'm going to share my current holdings so you can see at the moment I have a balance of £4,200, and it is sitting at -23.8. So I am watching it, and what I found recently is that Hargreaves Lansdown has recently taken Baillie Gifford American off the shortlist, wealth shortlist. So this is again an indication that this fund is so volatile that it's not supported to be good for the ordinary investor. So this is a warning about certain funds and managed funds. Um, if you're in a hole, do you keep digging, or do you just literally try not to lock in your losses and just maybe relax, um, so that you make a rational decision about what is for your money? So what I'm deciding to do is just relax and hopefully be able to get a 0% return on my investments. So thank you so much for watching this channel. Let us know if you've had some good investments or some lessons to share around managed funds, or even stocks that you've invested in. I've got a few stories to share again around investing, and some of the wins and some of the losses. So thank you so much. Till next time. Bye bye.